All right. Next up, our resident impressionist, James Blazin.
Woo.
Last time I did this, I did a few presidents, but I'm not going to do that this time.
Praise God.
And I'm not doing your voice anymore either, Pastor. Since we have kids here, I will do a voice that the kids will know if they watch Sesame Street. My fiance loves it when I do that voice because it makes her laugh. I don't know if it's because I'm doing it wrong or she just thinks I'm that funny looking. Or maybe it's both. I don't know. Hey, Bert. What do you say, Bert? What's for dinner, Bert? What's for dinner? Pizza. Oh, food fight. I think we should invite Snuffleupagus. Oh, hello there, Ernie. Well, I guess I could come over. I just hope I can fit through your door. Well, we could always make it wider. I'm sure Bert knows how to do that. I think so. Or, oh, maybe all I got to do is sneeze. And I'm going to do one that's from my generation. Maybe even just a tad bit before then. Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton, better known as Archie Bunker and Edith Bunker. Dinner toys, dinner toys. Geez, I come home from work and ain't no dinner on the tables here. Oh, Archie, I'm so glad you're home. Stifle it there, dingbat. But, Archie, I had a crazy dream last night. I dreamed I was at the Miss America pageant. Oh, really? Who was you, Bert Parks? Now I'll do one that all of us who come here on a regular basis should know. And no, it's not you, Pastor. Well, good morning. Welcome to Orangeburg Avenue Baptist Church. It's great to see you all here today and praising the Lord together. Well, let's all stand and get started. And if you can't guess who that is, that's our youth pastor, Ryan Marcella.
Just like him, James.
I don't think so. I think I was better doing you. I just don't understand it. I go to the store but the prices are so doggone high. I just don't understand it. Why they got to be so high? Well, I guess I got to pay the price if I want it. But I just don't understand it.
Mr. Smith.
So next we have, wait, where does this go? Next up is somebody you may or may not know, comedian, Pastor Stuart McNary. want podium or just mic? Want stand?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm going to try. Did anybody see Billy Joel here this afternoon and Elton John? I was looking for them, but all I could hear was the two of them singing, "We Didn't Start the Fire." I was just off the cuff, you know. But I want you to know I went to see the doctor last week and I was really shook up because he told me I had only 4 minutes to live. Can you imagine that? 4 minutes to live. I said, "Doctor, can you give me anything?" He said, "A boiled egg." I mean, if you can't laugh at your own jokes, you know what I'm saying? A friend of mine walked into a psychiatrist's office. He was completely wrapped from head to toe in cling film. As soon as he walked into the office, the doctor said, "I can see clearly what your problem is." Well, you know, I went to see the same psychiatrist for one of those association tests. And on the table, the psychiatrist had put a pitchfork, a wrench, and a saw. And then he called the nurse over and whispered in her ear, if he grabs the pitchfork, he's going to be a farmer. If he grabs the wrench, he's going to be an auto mechanic. And if he grabs the saw, he's going to be a carpenter. I grabbed the nurse. You know, I've always been a kind of a straight-talking guy. You might say I always call a spade, until the other night when I stepped in one in the dark. Now, this is one for Manny. I was thinking about Manny when I wrote this. Did you hear about the two antennae who met on the roof and fell in love, Manny? Well, they got married. The ceremony wasn't much good, but the reception was great. People often ask me if I wasn't a pastor, you know, what I'd like to be. And I've always told them, I've often thought about working in a looking glass factory because I could really see myself in that line of work. You're not laughing enough. I asked Troy Jones last Sunday why he took a job as a mail carrier. He said it was better than walking the streets. Does anyone here like doing crosswords? Anyone? And good old Ernie, that's great. Some years ago, I met the guy who invented the crossword puzzle. I can't remember his name, but it was P something, T something, R something. You may know that I enjoy reading, and last week I was reading this fantastic book about the history of glue. It was fascinating. I just couldn't put it down. Now listen carefully to this one, please, and don't accuse me of anything afterwards. I went to school with a boy who always carried 2 book bags to school. Turns out he was bisexual. I was in the bank yesterday and I asked the teller to check my balance. She pushed me over. Gail's here and I've got to be careful because I know I'm going to get hammered when I get home. And I don't mean hammered with alcohol, I mean hammered with a stick. My wife's such a good cook, I don't go out much to eat. But last month I felt like eating out, so I went to a local restaurant and I ordered a chicken dish. And the waiter brought it to my table, but it was cold. I called him over and I complained. I said, "Waiter, this chicken's cold." And he replied, "What do you expect? It's been dead for 2 weeks." Well, I went off that idea, so I thought I might order some chicken soup instead. Same waiter brought the chicken soup to the table, but there was no chicken in the soup. I called him over again. I said, "Waiter, there's no chicken in my soup." He replied, "There's no horse in the horseradish either." You know, I'm pretty hard to put off, but I thought I'd give it another try, and I asked for some roast chicken. And the waiter brought the chicken, but one leg was shorter than the other. And I called him back and said, waiter, this chicken has one leg shorter than the other. He says, what do you want to do with it? Eat it or dance with it? You know, it was getting close to the end. I said, forget the chicken, bring me a lobster. And he brought me this lobster, and I said, wait a minute, this lobster only has one claw. And the waiter said, well, he's been in a fight. I said, okay, bring me the winner. I thought I'd give up on the chicken dishes, and so I asked for a pork dish instead. And I said to the waiter, be very sure and tell the chef to make it lean. And he asked me, which way, right or left? Now, this has happened to all of us, I'm sure, but a man walked into a bar with a chicken under one arm and an alligator under the other. And the barman asked, what do you have to drink? And the man said, I'll have a whiskey on the rocks. And then the alligator said, and I'll have a gin and tonic. The barman was absolutely amazed. He says, I've never heard an alligator that could talk before. And the man said, the alligator can't talk. The chicken's a ventriloquist. You all know my wife, Gail. She's always smiling. She's the only girl I know with sunburnt teeth. Every time she takes the car out and comes back home, she asks me the same question. Guess who I bumped into today? Just last night, Gail was in a very romantic mood. Very romantic mood. And she asked me to take her in her arms and whisper something soft and sweet. And I whispered, vanilla ice cream. You know, Gail sleeps like a baby. Every morning at 3 a.m., she wakes up screaming and demands that I change her diaper. Well, you got to be risky. I like to be thoughtful when I buy Gail a gift. And just a few months ago for Christmas, I bought her a wooden leg. Yeah, a wooden leg. But it wasn't her main present, it was just a stocking stuffer. No kidding, Gail has been a real brick to me. Honestly, we've been married for nearly 45 years, and through those years, she stood right beside me. She had to. We've only one chair. You probably know I met my wife in a bar. Funny place to meet your wife. I thought she was at home with the children. It's the way I tell them. Since Gail was a little girl, she has had the bad habit of biting her nails, correct? But I cured her recently. I hid her teeth. I'm not much of a sports fan, but I went to San Francisco to see the Giants play, and I asked the cashier, how much for a ticket to get a decent seat? What's it cost? She said, $75. I said, that's too much. Then I asked, how much does a game program cost? She said, $5. I said, give me one of those, I'll sit in that. Now, after decades of being a pastor, let me finish by giving you some advice. Never, ever trust an undertaker, because he'll always let you down. Good night, and God bless.